Hey, what's up? COVID-19, the novel coronavirus. I'm an English teacher. Usually I like novels. Has made us all become teleteachers, even if we had no experience doing that kind of thing before. It's left many of us teachers wondering, how can we best teach our students at this time? How can we help them learn and grow as we always have? That's why I made these videos. I call this series TIFTO, short for Tips for Teaching Online. Tiptoe through the tulips? I'm an education professor and a 20-year teaching veteran, but I don't have all the answers. Each episode, though, I'll try and share an idea with you. There's no such thing as a one-size-fits-all approach in teaching. But here's one thing you could consider. Modify or reject as you see fit. You know yourself and your students best. That all said, here we go with today's idea. Carousel Brainstorms are a great tool for several reasons. They get every student in your class engaged and thinking about an idea, not to mention moving physically. The pace is quick enough to keep them active, and both you and the students can assess knowledge or assemble ideas quickly and thoroughly. That's great, but how do you do it online? Well, first, just in case you're not familiar, here's how Carousel Brainstorms work in a physical classroom.
Before class, your teacher posted a few questions and issues about a topic around the room. You are going to be placed into groups and told to stand near one of the posters. Then, each group will be given a different colored marker. Once you have a marker, look at the poster and read it. Then, brainstorm with your group and answer the question or comment on the issue. When your teacher calls time, move to the next poster. Read the responses from the other groups, then make your own response. You will continue to move around the room until your group has made a comment on all of the posters. At the end of the activity, you will end up at the poster you started at. Read all of the responses and star the most important points.
Pretty cool, right? So how do you do it online? Well, you'll need to use two tools. Google Docs, which are free, and breakout rooms, which may or may not be a free part of the telelearning app that you're using. But Zoom, Google Hangouts, WebEx, Blackboard Collaborate Ultra, Big Blue Button, they all have breakout rooms as a feature. If you're not familiar with how breakout rooms work for your particular platform, you can search online for a tutorial on how to use them. The basic concept is this. You can create virtual rooms and assign certain students to certain groups, just like you would if you grouped them in your classroom. Only because each group is in its own isolated bubble, they can't hear, distract, or be distracted by the other groups, and you can pop into any group you want to anytime. So breakout rooms are how you make your groups. Now, Google Docs are the tools you use to have those groups engage in a carousel. Instead of creating physical posters for your stations around the room, create a separate Google Doc for each poster topic, and make sure that they're shared or open so that all of your students can have edit access. Then, once you create your student groups in their breakout rooms, give each group the URL of the Google poster that you want them to start on. I suggest making a list like this so they don't get confused. Note how I've labeled every group with its own color and its own symbol so that regardless of what order they're in, they can more easily find where their group is and where they're supposed to be. Google Docs allow you to change the color of the text you're using to simulate different color markers, and these will never run dry, or get lost, stolen, or thrown around the room. Students in their groups will add to each Google Doc, and then when you want them to rotate, call time, after a minute or a 30-second warning, of course, and then call their attention to the new links and have each group go there to add new information to each doc. Then, when every group's had a chance to write on every doc, you can dissolve the breakout rooms and bring the whole class back, then share your screen for any given Google Doc poster and have all the class see and discuss it. Like any routine, it'll take some practice before you and your students feel conversant and comfortable with it, But remember, your mission is to try and keep all students engaged and hold them all accountable for learning. And that's even more vital in a virtual environment. Give it a try. Let me know how it goes by writing me an email at edinfinitumpodcast@gmail.com. For watching. If you liked what you saw, subscribe and/or check out my podcast, Ed Infinitum, at www.ed-infinitum.com, available wherever it is you get your podcasts. Bye now, and stay healthy.